Arkansas and Alabama. Remember last year, 14-13, Alabama win. They narrowly escaped, and it led to a very agitated Nick Saban after the win because, well, they only won by one, and to many, that wasn't enough.
You know, everybody's got such a high expectation for what our team should be. I was just happy to see our players be happy about playing a game and winning. And it really sort of, if you want to know the truth about it, pisses me off when I talk to people that have this expectation, like they're disappointed that we only won the game 14-13, and in the way we played.
Second quarter, Bama up 3-zip. As we go back to present day, Jake Coker, back foot throw, picked off John Liddell.
We've seen that before. We saw that against Ole Miss. Under pressure, throws it up for grabs. Looked a lot like Brian Hoyer from that Texans game the other night, didn't it?
Bama, 56 straight wins against unranked teams, 8 straight wins against Arkansas. Under 3 to go in the half, Coker down 3-zip. Off the fingertips of Richard Mullaney, picked off by Santos Ramirez.
It was off the fingertips, but that ball was a little too high. The inconsistency of Jake Coker parries with the inconsistency of the Alabama offense.
Well, Hogs, 3rd and 2 from the 3. The turnover turns into a touchdown. Brandon Allen to Drew Morgan. Hogs up 7-3 at half. Fewest first-half points for Bama in a game since that 9-6 LSU game in 2011. We remember how that turned out. Hello, rookie.
How about this guy?
Calvin Ridley.
Following up a big game last week against Georgia with another output today. 9 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown right there. You know what that route is right there, right, Bug?
What do you call that?
Sluggo, baby. Slant and go. Nice throw, nice catch, nice design there by your boy Lane Kiffin.
Well, it's 10-7 Bama then. Coker rolling, avoiding trouble, avoiding the rush, moving forward in a positive direction for a first down.
He's sneaky athletic. I mean, he's kind of like Doring was. Very
finally getting some credit tonight from this guy.
No, sneaky athletic. Is that credit? I don't know if that's credit.
I'm a heady receiver.
That's right. Coker to Mullaney, touchdown, 17-7. And then Brandon Allen now. Now you got worked. Oh, boy. Picked off by Eddie Jackson, led to an Alabama field goal and a 13-point lead. Now Arkansas backed up deep, 3rd and 9. Allen near his own goal line, sacked by Tim Williams, and the Hogs have to punt again. And that drive ends this way. Derrick Henry, 95 hard-earned yards on 27 carries.
He doesn't get the love he deserves, does he?
No, he
Everybody
doesn't.
looks at Chubb previously and Fournette. Derrick Henry just consistent week in and week out.
And the likelihood is Michelle will just ascend past Henry in that department. 44 rushing yards for Arkansas. That is the first, and in that, it's the first time under Brett Bielema they don't have a rush of at least 10 yards. Here's Bielema.
Story of the day, we just couldn't do anything with any consistency. Couldn't run it, couldn't throw it, couldn't convert the first downs the way we needed to, and that ended up obviously forcing a hand on a couple other issues. So unfortunately, I lost, but I know this: we're better in week 6 than we were in week 1. We'll take a bye week, take advantage of some time to get some guys healthy overall, and come back with a 6 games left to determine what our future is. So as a football team, I think they'll bounce back and respond as they always have, and see where they can go.
We just played a lot better in the second half. We didn't play poorly in the first half. We just didn't finish drives. We had a couple turnovers. I thought in the second half we really took control of the game, and our guys played great on both sides of the ball.
You know, first half was pretty rough. I felt like I put us in a lot of bad positions, and that's really all my fault. And second half, the guys just did their jobs and made it easier on me.
Well, I think the one thing was the big play. You know, that kind of got the momentum of the game back in our favor. And I told the players at halftime, this is, when you find out what you're made out of and who you are and what you want to be, and let's go out here and play a great second half. And the guys responded and did a great job.
Slow start, great finish. Arkansas runs for 44 yards. So you play defense, you stop the run, and you run the football. That's a pretty good.
We expect them to be able to stop the run. That's what they do. They did it to Wisconsin. They did it to Georgia for the most part until Chubb broke off the long one. But the thing that I liked was the second half of this offense for Alabama. You saw Coker come out 9 of 12, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. And you said it before. This offense is going to go the way that Jake Coker goes, played much more consistent, delivered the ball to his playmakers, and allowed them to do it.
And for Arkansas, it's really simple. 44 yards rushing. Derrick Henry, almost 100 yards. Alabama total had over 100 yards. And if you're Arkansas and you can't run the football and Brandon Harris only throws for a couple of 100 yards, you're not going to be able to move your offense down the field. Their offensive line started to get whipped up front, both in the run game and the pass game. And late in the fourth quarter, Alabama took over the game.
1.8 yards a carry for Arkansas.
That's un-Arkansas-like, unbeatable-like.
No question.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So there you go. Arkansas falls to Alabama.
All right, Kentucky hosting Auburn in a Thursday night matchup. Gus Malzahn. Look, Chris Doering. Check it out. No visor.
Yeah, a little tip of the cap to Coach Spurrier with his announcement of his resignation.
Going to auction off a Red Cross flood relief efforts, and the visor man not missed. But how about the quick up-speed tempo for Gus Malzahn's offense? 3rd and 5 or 3rd and long. White finds Marcus Davis for a conversion and finds Ricardo Lewis over and over.
Ricardo Lewis a lot there in the first quarter.
That was good for 15 yards. That was not the smartest of penalties. Gus, let's go, run it. So 3rd and goal, Peyton Barber. Easy stuff.
Peyton Barber's done that quite a bit for Auburn's offense, but nice to see them getting back to playing the tempo that we've come to expect from
Also nice to see Boom Williams be back for the Kentucky Wildcats. He missed the last game for personal issues, and, well, he's off to the races right there. 60-yard run, punch it in 2 plays later. So, later in the first, Auburn driving. Sean White looking deep, and guess who he finds?
Ricardo Lewis there, 41 yards down the field. Nice job going up and getting the ball at the top of the flight.
Few plays later, White rolls right. Throws a dangerous ball here in the end zone. Almost hit.
Yeah, that's one of those that very fortunate that it didn't get intercepted.
AJ Stamps. That's why he plays defense, right? If he was the wide receiver, he would have caught that.
Exactly.
Next play, 3rd and goal. Kerryon Johnson, direct snap. Touchdown, Auburn Tigers.
Little trickery there in lining up direct snap to the running back.
So, Patrick Tolles looking to knot it up at 14. Oh, no. Oh, no. Throws it right to Carlton Davis. The only problem is Carlton Davis plays for the Auburn Tigers.
Not a great throw, but his receiver certainly didn't help him out either.
Kentucky came out with tempo in the second half. 3rd and 9. Tolles hit Jeff Badette over the middle for the first. Tolles again. This time finds Landon Foster.
Big-time tone-setting drive right down the field, right out of the locker room, culminating in a touchdown.
Boom Williams. Boy, how about that effort? Stretching, makes it happen.
Definitely good to have Boom Williams back in the lineup.
Auburn's defense stand out in the first half. In the second half, all Kentucky. 3rd and 7, Sean White looking for Lewis. Chris Westry makes the play on the ball. Big 3rd down stop for him.
Yeah, forced 3 punts in the 3rd quarter, including 2 3-and-outs.
Jason Hatcher. Sit down, young man. Another huge 3rd down stop for the Wildcat defense. So we head to the 4th. White, well, how about this play right here? A little misdirection. What did you say to me earlier? You said, watch this. Little trickeration there, and it works. Ricardo Lewis for the big strike. A couple plays later, he's got a nose for the end zone.
Credit that Auburn offense after doing nothing the entire 3rd quarter, a much-needed touchdown drive to start the 4th.
That was from Peyton Barber there, and Tolles looking deep. Blake Countess, well, that'll be a pass interference. 2nd PI call of the drive. Next play, Badette downfield. Big catch there.
Yeah, big time catch. Nice trio of wide receivers tonight between Johnson, Badette, and Dorian Baker.
Michael Horton getting the end zone. Kentucky pulls within 3. 2:35 left in the game. Auburn facing 3rd and 4. Barber goes around the edge. Could this end it? No.
Big time play there. That blue swarming defense pursuit from the inside out stopped Barber just short of the 1st down mark.
All right, so Kentucky's got one more opportunity. Tolles, interesting call on 3rd and 3, going to catch the Auburn Tigers off battle.
You thought Badette had it in his hands, just comes out at the end, and then 4th down. Inexplicably, Patrick Tolles does not throw the ball down the field. You got to give your receivers an opportunity.
They did not get that final opportunity as Patrick Tolles, obviously disappointed in that opportunity that almost to at least get it within field goal and go out there a little bit more forward there. 30-27. The Auburn Tigers have won 17 out of their last 18 meetings against the Kentucky Wildcats. Here is their victorious head coach, Gus Malzahn, with no visor.
Coach, 32 seconds left. They've got the ball. It's 4th and 3. I mean, that's the game right there. What did you dial up defensively?
Well, we had a great call. Had a twist, flushed him out right there. It was good coverage on the backside, and it won the game for us.
That second half, there were several moments when it seemed like Kentucky was starting to gain the momentum. How did you prevent them from gaining the lead?
Yeah, hey, they're a good team, and we knew they were going to come back. They made a couple of adjustments. We didn't get a whole lot of first downs in the third quarter, and that kind of caused a little bit of stall. But our guys adjusted. They found a way to win. This is a tough place to play.
How did Barber step up for you guys in that second half, fourth quarter in particular?
Yeah, he's a tough. There were some tough yards right there. They're putting a lot of guys inside, and he was really doing a great job. And our offensive line did a good job too.
Gus, you said yesterday this win was important. It's the first SEC win of the year for your team. What's the significance of being able to pick this up?
Well, I think it's very significant. Now we got some momentum. We're 2-0 in October. We played better football tonight. I mean, we still got some mistakes, but this team is capable of being good. And tonight just confirmed that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
So is this a breakout game for the Tigers offense? Tigers scored twice as many points Thursday night against Kentucky as they averaged in their first two SEC games. They also gained 80 more yards, including 111 more in the air against the Wildcats than they averaged in those two losses to LSU and Mississippi State. So now we bring in Chris Doran to break down exactly what we saw. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but he is. Okay, so what did you see early from the Auburn Tigers that really set the tone for tonight?
Well, I thought they came out very aggressive. We've seen Sean White almost be protected in the first couple games he's played. They let him throw the football, 6 of 10 for 124 yards there in the first quarter. But most importantly, it was the third down conversions. Perfect on the first drive, 4 of 4, led to a touchdown, and then again on the second drive, 2 of 2. That third down conversion, the ability to play with some rhythm, allows this Auburn offense to play fast. They get to the line of scrimmage, they keep Kentucky from being able to substitute, and they wear down the opposition. I thought they did a nice job of really keeping Kentucky on their heels for much of the first quarter and setting that tone that they wanted to.
We'll hear from Mark Stoops a little bit later, but Mark Stoops did in fact say that in his post-game press conference, talking about how they played a little bit more up-tempo than they were expecting. But they found a wide receiver once again. No longer Duke Williams. He's no longer a member of that Auburn Tigers team, but we found a new star there for the Tigers.
Yeah, Ricardo Lewis was amazing there in the first quarter. 5 catches, 114 yards. Auburn on the entire season hadn't had a 100-yard rusher. He got it done in the first quarter, so nice job by him. Caught a deep ball, that 41-yarder to set up the second touchdown. Did a nice job on some of the intermediate routes as well, and then late in the game, the big play to ultimately set up the
Glad you're talking about it, because here is some of the big plays there in that fourth quarter, and just calling for the ball. Ricardo Lewis is just getting an opportunity to be a playmaker, and that's what the Auburn Tigers wanted to see out of him this season.
No, they definitely need it, especially now that Duke Williams is no longer around. He's kind of become the bell cow of that receiving core and delivered some big-time plays early in the game, stepped up. They've desperately needed an offensive playmaker, and he certainly was that tonight.
The Kentucky Wildcats came out of halftime. They got the ball first, drove down the field and scored, and then had a good stop. But Auburn had to score late in that game to really get it kind of out of reach for the Kentucky Wildcats.
This was the play right here. Nice job by Sean White stepping up in the pocket, finding number 5 there down the field. Ricardo Lewis made a nice play and ultimately led to a touchdown. Nice play design as well by Gus Malzahn. You could see as he faked that handoff, kept the contain away from Sean White long enough for him to step up into the pocket.
Then a couple plays later, they were able to go ahead and punch it in. And more importantly, I think whenever you saw that drive, Gus Malzahn was saying, slow down. We don't need to score. I like it fast, but we need to slow it down a little bit to take a little time off that clock coming in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, they definitely did a nice job of changing tempos and keeping that Kentucky defense off balance. But I really liked the way that they answered the bell there in the fourth quarter. We talked earlier about the fact they had done nothing in the entire third quarter, just 13 yards, 3 punts. They gave up a sack. Kentucky's defense clearly made some adjustments at halftime, but when they needed to the most, Auburn stepped up. Ricardo Lewis with the big catch and ultimately the touchdown to give them the victory.
Ricardo Lewis may be known for the prayer at Jordan-Hare, but he made a new statement against Kentucky. Lewis surpassed his season high in receiving yards in the first quarter. Auburn's receiver finished up with 7 catches for 154 yards to help Auburn secure its first SEC win of the season against the Wildcats. And now we get the chance to welcome in senior wide receiver Ricardo Lewis from the Auburn Tigers. And you're coming off of a 154-yard receiving night, and it seems as though you had a very aggressive game plan coming in that Gus Malzahn talked about. How did that help you guys secure the win against Kentucky?
Yeah, Coach Malzahn came in and told us, we're going to be going in to the game very aggressive. And as soon as he said it, I was very excited, and I love when he has an aggressive play calling. And, it gave us a lot of confidence because we made plays down the field. you know, we're starting to get more players involved. And, you know, that we're going to need that moving forward, especially with Sean White, you know, starting to get his confidence up.
You know, you had 5 catches in the first quarter. What was going on at the very beginning of the game that allowed you to be so productive?
You know, I came in the game, I just wanted to start early. You know, I wanted to hit him in the mouth early. You know, that's what Miles I wanted to do as well. And, you know, that's what we did. And my mindset going in was just, you know, let's be explosive and make plays.
In your final season, you know, everyone could talk about the prayer at Jordan-Hare and the fact that you were a part of that, but you said that you wanted to be known for more than just that one play. What do you ultimately see your role being on this team in your last season?
You know, the Georgia game was just a blessing from God, and I wanted my career not to just be defined by that, but to be defined as more of a complete receiver, you know, all-around football player, you know, one of the best players that come through at Auburn. You know, that's what I work for. And, you know, that's what I want to leave with, just being known as, you know, one of the best to play here, and when it's all said and done.
When we started out the season, we thought that Jeremy Johnson would be your starting quarterback throughout the entire year, and now you're receiving catches from Sean White. How has he progressed as the season's gone on and he's been the guy under center?
Yeah, he's definitely gaining more confidence. You know, I can see it in him every game. You know, he's getting more comfortable back there. The O-line is starting to build that relationship they need to be a strong O-line, and, you know, he's going to need that moving on to the games that we're about to be playing, like, you know, Arkansas, Ole Miss, all the great teams. And, you know, having Sean step up when we needed him to is very big, and it helps me, you know, it helps me build up my confidence as well, and also all the other players we have that want to make plays and that will get a chance to make plays.
What's something maybe just the general public might not know about Sean White as a person?
Sean White, he has a very energetic attitude. You know, he's very hard on himself sometimes. He may make a great throw. To me, it might be a great throw, but to him, it might not be a great throw. So he's all about being perfect, and, you know, he's a perfectionist in my eyes. And, you know, being a quarterback, you know, you got to have that sometimes, and it makes him real good.
Well, right now, Ricardo, you guys are 4-2 and 1-2 in league play. Where is this team at mentally, or what are you guys talking about in the locker room surrounding the rest of the season?
You know, at this point right now, we just want to get better. You know, coming into the Kentucky game, that's what our mindset was. You know, we just got to get better and get this win, get our confidence up, get our confidence back. And, you know, by winning this game, that's exactly what we did. And, you know, we're going to need this confidence. We're going to need, you know, everybody on board coming into the next game against Arkansas.
Well, I know a lot of that confidence flows through you as a senior leader, and you'll be graduating in May. Your post-football career, what does that look like for you? What are you interested in?
Well, I'm definitely, you know, I want to go into the league, you know, get drafted and end up on somebody's, you know, roster and make the team. And, you know, that's my #1 goal, really.
Well, you got to tell me the backup plan then. What happens when you're done going pro?
My major right now is communications, and, you know, I'm real big on film and directing films, and, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to get into that, you know, probably be on the movie someday, probably make my own movie of my career in college and, you know, my life story. I
could totally see that happening. So you have to tell me then, what's your favorite movie?
Oh man, I have a lot of favorite movies. My favorite movie, I would have to say, is that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It's a good one. I stumped you. That was my goal.
You got me on that one. I'll have to say I Am Legend.
Okay.
Will Smith.
All right, well, I'll let you go so you can go and watch I Am Legend. Thank you so much for your time, Ricardo.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And Ricardo, a.k.a. I Am Legend, did just about everything last week except find the end zone, which has been a trend lately for Auburn. Auburn hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in its last 3 games after throwing 5 in its first 3. But the Tigers have also drastically cut back on interceptions since switching to Sean White at quarterback. And here's Brett Bielema, the guy coaching the team that they'll be facing on Saturday.
I would say that the thing that's consistent, which is Gus has been great at, is he uses their good players well. He puts them in unique situations. The trick play, or I don't think he even considers it a trick play, just the advantage to take advantage of a special situation in a short amount of time because of the no huddle and the speed up is always there. You got to play every play as though it could be that different formation, that different guy in a different spot, that double pass or whatever it could possibly be. I spent a lot of time flying back from Alabama as a 2-4 coach saying, how do I spend this? You know, how do I put it in a perspective of where I want to be and where we can get, and the bottom line and the truth really comes down to what you're made of and what you're all about. And it was really easy for me. I came into the staff meeting on Sunday and said, fellas, everybody's going to want to spin this in a different way. You know, we got a big Auburn game, then we have a non-conference, then we have 2 home and 2 away. So they might want to go 2-2-2 or something like that. But what it is, it's all about Auburn. We're one game at a time. It's something I believed in since the day I got into coaching, especially as a head coach. It's the only thing that can keep you on a consistent path. I think our players, in a simplistic way, handle that really, really well. If I try to start talking too much big picture for them, it kind of just goes right over their heads. So as coaches, we made a conscientious effort about bye week that is really a beginning of Auburn week, and then we're going to focus on Auburn, and wherever we stand on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, we'll take that into the next week against UT Martin, and then we're going to take it into 2 consecutive road games and 2 away games.
Guys, no change. That's what came out of Auburn on Tuesday. Sean White will start Saturday, making his 4th consecutive start at quarterback as the Tigers head to Arkansas. White's last start was his best, threw for 255 yards in last Thursday's win at Kentucky. Head coach Gus Malzahn made the announcement at his weekly news conference.
He's improved each game. I think the big thing from my standpoint, he's protecting the football. He protected the football very well the other night. We had 0 turnovers, and when you go on the road, you have 0 turnovers, you got a good chance of winning the game. So he also stood in the pocket very well with guys around him, deliver the football. So he's improved, and just needs to keep doing that. We've gotten through some of the difficult times. We've improved the last few games, and the last game was really the first time it really looked like an Auburn offense with the rhythm and everything that goes with that. So, the challenge is to take the next step and each week play better. We go on the road this week against a good Arkansas team. I really feel like their record is deceiving. Their schedule they played is a very good schedule. A lot of top 20 teams, and they've competed very well. Had a chance to win. A few of those could have went either way. Offensively, Brandon Allen, their quarterback, has as much or more experience than any quarterback in the league, and the running back Alex Collins is a very explosive guy. He can hit it inside. His speed to bounce it outside is definitely a concern. Then, of course, Hunter Henry, their tight end, is probably the best in our league and one of the best in the country. Defensively, they're very sound. Their defensive coordinator does a very good job. They're very good with their run fits, and they do a good job of keeping things in front of them. I think the bottom line is we've got to play our best game to go there and win. Road games in the SEC are hard to come by, and anytime you get a road win, it'll definitely give you confidence the next time you're on the road. And so, we're going to try to take all that to help us moving forward.
Auburn's struggles on both sides of the ball have certainly been well documented. The Tigers' opponent Saturday, Arkansas, has been efficient offensively, but the problem there has been defense. As for ESPN's Football Power Index, it does favor the Hogs, giving them a 71% chance to beat Auburn. What about Auburn's story? What is it that helps a struggling offense? An occasional explosive play wouldn't hurt. The chunky yards that allows your offense to not have to string together long drives, reducing the risk of a stop or a turnover. You know who's not getting any explosive plays? At least not many? Auburn. Auburn has 17 plays that have gained 20 yards or more this season. That's the second fewest in the entire bowl subdivision. Put that in perspective. In 2010 and 2013, when Auburn played for national titles, they had at least 80 such plays. And last year, Auburn had 69. Auburn, of course, this week is in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and that is where we go. That is the first of 3 games Saturday on SEC ESPN Network. And when you watch it, you will watch and you will hear Kevin Weidel roaming the sidelines for the network on the broadcast. And let's start with Auburn. Sean White stays the starting quarterback, played actually a pretty good game in his last performance. What is the take right now on White and his ability to make the always missing big plays, it seems, from the Auburn offense?
Well, you look at White, I think he stabilized the offense. But the one thing I think this Auburn offense is missing we're used to seeing under Gus Malzahn is the explosive play, Dari. Only 17 on the year, ranked 127th out of 128 FBS teams, only ahead of Central Florida. If you go back to the years with Gus Malzahn, the prior years, last 2 years, Nick Marshall, that dynamic running ability, the former defensive back, can hurt you with the arm as well. And then even back to the 2010 campaign when Gus Malzahn was the offensive coordinator here at Auburn, Cam Newton, they were second in the country with 86 explosive plays of 20 yards or more, what I mean by that. So to me, I just don't think they're getting the explosive plays. Jeremy Johnson, obviously, in the beginning didn't pan out. Duke Williams, a nightmare of a season, not on the roster anymore, the big playmaker they were relying upon. So I think that's kind of been the issue with this offense so far, Dari.
Arkansas's offense having trouble running the football. That's an issue that none of us thought we would see coming into the season. What's going on with that aspect of Brett Bielema's football team?
Well, talking with Bielema, he talked about that Alabama defense and that front seven being, quote, a different animal. You got a bunch of NFL bodies on that front line. This week, meeting with Coach Dan Enos, offensive coordinator, talked about getting back to the running game. Only 44 yards on 25 carries last week, average under 2 yards per carry. Got behind the chains. Enos said we need to stay ahead of the chains. That's when we're most effective. We can run the football and set up quarterback Brandon Allen off of play action to the big dynamic duo of tight ends of Jeremy Sprinkle and Hunter Henry, who I believe is one of the best in the country. So look for plenty of carries from Alex Collins and freshman running back Raleigh Williams, who's really developed at 220 pounds, runs with great power and great balance. Expect those two to get plenty of carries tomorrow.
Kev, you mentioned the word sprinkle. You're going to get more than a sprinkle, I think, Saturday in this football game. A lot of that part of the country expected to get fairly heavy rainfall. What are you expecting, and how might it affect things?
Well, you look at it, there's certainly going to be some rain. They're calling it 60%. It's come down from 90% early in the week. I think it favors the Arkansas Razorbacks in that physical run game, the physical mentality on defense. They're the team that kind of likes to slop it up, roll up the sleeves, and get down and dirty. I think it favors them if it get some rain tomorrow morning, and certainly going to see them try to impose their power and their size up front on that offensive line.
All right, that is Kevin Weidel, noon Eastern time. You will see it Auburn at Arkansas from Fayetteville. Kev, good to see you, bud. Enjoy it.
You too, Dari. Take care, man.
Now, who else? You get to call out another quarterback. Call to arms to whom? Who's your quarterback?
Brandon Allen from Arkansas. Here's a guy that's putting up good numbers. He's third in the conference when it comes to passing yards per game. He's fourth in QBR. But the number that shocks me is that 13th in red zone scoring percentage in the clutch. He just hasn't taken advantage of opportunities down there. You have to lead your team into the end zone. They're tighter windows down there, but you have to make accurate throws when you're in the red zone. It's the money zone, and you got to go be able to cash in those situations, Boog.
The game that's going to get your SEC Network triple header started is Auburn at Arkansas. That's the noon game on SEC Network. Remember, SEC Nation was down there last year for the season opener when Auburn hosted Arkansas. Jeremy Johnson was playing the first half in place of Nick Marshall, and he looked really good. 12 of 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Auburn won big 45-21. Of course, now it's Sean White. Now it's much different circumstances for both teams who haven't had the seasons that were expected, but now in midseason, hoping to gather themselves a little bit. Who do you feel is bouncing back better in midseason here, Auburn or Arkansas?
Well, I think Arkansas is a little bit better of a football team. I feel like Sean White could be the X factor in this game if he starts to develop in this offense, if he can make a few plays with his arms and his legs because of the tempo of Auburn. If they can get it going, it can really dominate a game for them. But I feel like Arkansas is a better football team right now.
I know Arkansas stumbled out the gate and they lost the game that they wasn't supposed to lose. But I do like what Brett Bielema did. He got this team back to what they do best, and that's running the football and controlling the entire game by their ability to run and control the line of scrimmage. And I think that's why Arkansas is in a better situation than Auburn. Auburn is still trying to find that identity.
Where are the explosive runs for Auburn? They are nowhere to be found right now, guys. They only have 10 runs of 15 or more yards. That's last in the SEC. This is a group that led the SEC in both 2014 and 2013. I mean, where is the the explosion offensively. There's also one key statistic to recognize when you're looking at these two teams. One's third in the conference against the run, that's Arkansas. One's second to last, that's Auburn. I think Arkansas right now is truer to their actual identity offensively and defensively and should have an advantage with the home field on Saturday.
He's been the most dependable, consistent part of Auburn's struggling offense. Peyton Barber and his 108 rushing yards a game are good for 5th in the SEC. Not bad for a guy who wasn't expected to carry the football much before the season, with guys like Rock Thomas and Javon Robinson expected to carry the load at tailback for the Tigers. You look at Auburn, and their change at quarterback hasn't turned the Tigers back into their high-scoring selves, but at least they're not turning the ball over as much. In the first 3 games of the season, Jeremy Johnson is the starter. Auburn committed 8 turnovers, 7 of those by Johnson. But in Sean White's 3 starts, the Tigers have given it away just 1 time. Guys, how about this offense with Sean White at the helm?
Look, I know Sean White is yet to throw a touchdown pass this season, Boog, but there's a reason why he's still the quarterback after the bye week and Jeremy Johnson didn't take back over. That's because this offense is more effective and more efficient with him at the quarterback position, allowing the offense to get into that up-tempo that they like to run.
Yeah, and he's giving them stability at the quarterback position, something they can count on and something they can depend on, Chris.
We're going to draw up this play here. What we have is a situation where this guy's going to motion across. He's going to run the flat route. The idea is that he's going to pull this receiver or this defender out of that hole and open up the window so that we can run the curl flat concept. And ultimately, as we snap the football, he's going to read this guy right here and either take the curl or come underneath to the flat route.
First thing I notice, I look at him in the pocket. He's calm, he's collected, he plants the back foot, and he throws the football confidently. That's something we couldn't say for Jeremy Johnson. He looked flustered. Sean White looks ready to go in the pocket, Chris.
This was one of the big plays against Kentucky last week. And as we roll back to the beginning of the play here, this is what we call quarter, half coverage. Mm-hmm. And the important guy here is this guy that's playing that second quarter.
Yes.
All right. As you have a receiver in number 2 that vertically releases, it's his job to cover that guy. All right. So as Auburn designs the play, he's going to free release directly down the field, and that's going to leave one-on-one coverage with this guy right here across the entire field. Sean White does a nice job with his head, watching that safety, and delivering a football on time, Bug.
The first thing I notice is when he's in the pocket, he delivers the football. But notice where the football is. Freeze it right here. Notice where the ball is coming in at. He's a quarterback who understands. The defender is on his back. Throw the football in front of him, so he does a great job of giving only his guy an opportunity to catch the football in this situation.
And there's a reason why 15 was not in the play. Sean White did a great job looking that safety off. All right, sometimes the defense is going to play a little softer, and you can't force plays.
You can't force them, not at all. Here's the first thing I noticed as you talk about being soft. Notice the down and distance right here. It's 3rd and 2. As a quarterback, I don't need a 50-yard bomb. I don't need 20 yards. I need 2 yards to keep the line of scrimmage and keep the sticks moving.
There's also only 23 seconds left, so you're trying to get down in field goal range. You don't need to force anything to try to get a touchdown in this situation. What happens? Sean White sends his receiver in motion. And then now look, you got everybody here dropping back into the secondary. There's your guy. That's your check down guy. I know it's not great. I know it's not fashionable to throw it underneath, but sometimes it's the best play, Bug.
Yeah, it's a simple throw. It's a 2-yard throw, but you put the ball in your playmakers' hands and allow them to make plays for you. The quarterback doesn't have to do it all. Your job, distribute the football and get it to your playmakers.
Now, in this situation, you're going to have a flood into the right third of the field. You're going to motion this guy. He's going to come around. They're going to fake the handoff. And then ultimately, you're trying to put this into a bind with 3 different levels from the quarterback being able to choose from one of those 3 in that deep third.
And Sean White does a tremendous job right here. Here's the first thing I noticed. Here we go. Right here. As a quarterback, I have a defender, a free rusher coming at me. As a quarterback, I can choose to go this way. But Sean White doesn't do that. He steps up in the pocket, ultimately giving his receiver a chance to go deep and buying him some time.
And we talked about flooding that deep third. Take a look at this guy. He's in a little bit of a bind now. You got one receiver here, you got the other one here, and he's having to make a decision which one he's going to go with.
And ultimately, he chooses the wrong one.
Look at the throw, though. I love the throw, the back shoulder throw. gives the receiver an opportunity to catch the football without that safety coming over to blow him up. It's a great read, but even better throw by Sean White.
Yeah, just a good throw. The ability for him to read the defense and know exactly where he wanted to throw the football to.
Sean White not turning the football over, allowing his offense to make plays, move the chain, and get that tempo up the way Gus Malzahn wants it to.
And more getting involved now at Auburn. Is Kerryon Johnson getting more of an increased role in the backfield in a variety of roles? As the deep set tailback, as an offset up back, even a slot coming forward on the jet motion. You see him right here on the Wildcat package. This was a player that was a tremendous two-way player at the high school level. Gus Malzahn anticipated that he would be a high-profile player on the offensive side for the Tigers. Off to a bit of a slow start as they spoon-fed him a little bit, but now as there's been some uncertainty with the offense, why not get the freshman involved? Kerryon Johnson looking good.
Absolutely.
Yep. No question about it. Good freshman to look forward to each and every week in the SEC. There's a couple of names for you to keep an eye on.
Let's do it. Let's make some picks right now. Let's fire it up with that first game that we talked about, Auburn and Arkansas. Doring.
Arkansas 28-23. They're going to get the victory here. It's not like last year's Arkansas offense, but they're still very, very physical. They should be able to run the football right down Auburn's throat. And once they're running the ball with some success, it's going to open up one-on-one opportunities for Brandon Allen. I think he has a big day throwing the football as well.
I agree with you. 35 Arkansas, 31 Auburn. If they don't run the football 60 times this game, speaking of Arkansas, I don't know what's wrong with Brett Bielema and Dan Enos. We've seen Auburn try to stop the run against LSU to the tune of 411 yards. I expect a huge day for the Arkansas running game. And take the pressure off of Brandon Allen. Take the pressure and put it on that offensive line, which is where you've made your name.
Coming up on the SEC Network at noon Eastern Time, Auburn and Arkansas. The Tigers, Ricardo Lewis had 154 receiving yards against Kentucky. Now, the two coaches in this game, sometimes they've been known to get in a little spat from time to time. Let's see if it carries over with some intensity between the Razorbacks and the Tigers. On the SEC Network at noon, Sean White, the freshman, gets another start for Auburn against Arkansas. They'll kick off in just over 18 minutes. Auburn is 1-5 in its last 6 SEC games. Arkansas 3-20 in their last 23 SEC games. This is one the Razorbacks need. Peyton Barber, Auburn hasn't had as many big plays we're accustomed to see.
They just don't have that. They're still trying to find that rhythm. White has come in, and at least they've avoided some of the disastrous plays that they had earlier with Johnson. But Barber has been kind of a solid back for them. I think Brandon Allen, again, we associate Arkansas with physicality, and they're going to run the ball. If the Hogs beat Auburn today, it's going to be because Allen throwing the ball.
And he's going to have to do it without yet another receiver, as JoJo Robinson is suspended from the game. Kickoff coming up in about 17.5 minutes.
But folks, what do you say we talk about Auburn? Let's do it. Season opener last year. Auburn hosting Arkansas. There was Jeremy Johnson at quarterback playing the first half in place of Nick Marshall. This is when we were all saying,
it was a really good first half.
Oh man, if Jeremy Johnson was the starter, 12 of 16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Auburn won big, 45-21. Of course, what a difference a year makes. As Auburn and Arkansas, clearly not what they were expected to be. Are you enjoying the Auburn season? Which team feels like they are bouncing back better mid-season? Because I think both teams are now starting to get their footing a little bit. Which team feels like they're bouncing back better mid-season?
To me, it's Arkansas. I think Auburn is improving. They got a big win last week, but I think this Arkansas team is just a little bit better right now.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the way Arkansas started this season. They looked like they were trying to shift the personality of the football team.
Yeah.
They've gotten back to their wheelhouse and what makes them comfortable as a football team, and that's trying to dominate the line of scrimmage and running the football. And you see a totally different team, and they've progressed along in this season a lot quicker than Auburn has.
If you look at Arkansas last year, I think the expectations were probably a little high going into the season, but I think they're bouncing back right now. They played their best football in November. When you look at Auburn, they've gotten away from that explosive offense that they've hung their hat on. We're talking about a team right now that ranks dead last in the SEC in explosive 15-plus yard runs. That's amazing to think about, considering they led the SEC the last 2 years, and in a 14-game slate, they had 80-plus 15-yard runs in 2013.
I feel like we stacked the show wrong for Paul. Paul, I feel like you're a little sad since Saban has left. Well, you're like a dog that was given his treat too early, or a kid that got the candy bar.
Joe, life is about anticipation. That's something I was hoping would be at the end of the show. It's already over for me.
There's nowhere for you to
I'm smoking a cigarette and going home.
It was that good of an experience for you.
So he just throw us to the bus like that, Joe.
It's just,
hey, you guys are no good.
What's your sense here? Auburn or Arkansas in terms of who's bouncing back better?
Just think about the question. I mean, we're talking about Auburn winning at Kentucky. This is a team many thought was going to the national championship. They're celebrating a win over Kentucky. They don't have much else to celebrate. And I think today, if Arkansas beats them, their season, whoop.
There's no bad win in the SEC. That's a quality win there. Kevin Weidel with Gus Malzahn.
Coach, Sean White, quarterback Sean White, making his, coming off one of his better starts statistically. What have you thought about his development?
Well, I thought he's done a good job. He's done a good job protecting the football, and that's really the main thing for a young quarterback, and he needs to do the same thing today.
Facing a similar team, a physical style that LSU had, the running game here with Arkansas today. LSU 411 yards, 5 touchdowns. What do you have to do differently today to try to contain this Arkansas running game?
Well, I think that's a big factor in today's game. We got to stop their run. There's no doubt, and that'll be a big factor. And we got to run the football on their defense too.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
They got to stop the run. They got to run the football. Montrevious Adams not 100% healthy. Rock Thomas not 100% healthy. Sean White will start his 4th straight game at quarterback. Marcus, what decides this game?
Arkansas's ability to run the football. If they can control tempo, I don't think Auburn has enough offensively with what they've shown this year to be able to handle Arkansas not giving them a lot of possessions throughout the game. And you know one thing. Look, these guys at Arkansas believe that they still can win football games. I think there's doubt at Auburn right now. I think Auburn is still searching for an identity. They want to find out who they are. They don't know who Sean White is. They know he played pretty well last week. Arkansas is a bit further ahead, and I think they control the line of scrimmage in this football game, and that's how they beat Auburn.
But what gives Auburn a chance is if they win the turnover battle. The first 3 games, Auburn gave up 8 turnovers. Ridiculous. The last 3 games, 1. That gives them a chance if they win the turnover battle in this game.
There's one thing. I don't think it comes down to running the football. I think it comes down to stopping the run. And there's one key statistic that I've looked at this week. Arkansas, 3rd in the league in rush defense. Auburn, 2nd to last.
Yeah.
Both these teams trying to control the line of scrimmage. I think it's about who stops it. And Arkansas is a team that I have a lot of faith in when it comes to doing that.
Auburn at Arkansas. It's coming up in moments. Minutes away from Auburn. Auburn at Arkansas. Arkansas defense, last in the SEC in opposing quarterbacks ratings. Sean White is the quarterback they oppose now. Auburn, Arkansas.
Well, I think this Auburn team is getting better. I think Sean White improves. I think this is a really good football game. But at the end of the day, I think Arkansas can run the football just a little bit too much more than Auburn is going to be able to handle and control the clock. And Auburn doesn't get tempo in this game. Because of that, Arkansas wins.
Arkansas struggles in the secondary, and I probably wouldn't pick them, but I don't think Sean White is ready to make that step. And like I've always said about Arkansas, they control tempo offensively, and they keep Auburn limited to opportunities on offense, Arkansas.
Because of the style that Arkansas has, they're going to be a very good football team down the stretch. As teams start to lose players due to injury, that downhill physical presence and rushing attack is going to be a lot to handle. Arkansas starts their momentum and gets the ball rolling today against Auburn. They win big.
You are absolutely correct. Auburn, to me, I'm tired of picking Auburn and being wrong. I mean, what a disappointing team so far. The most disappointing team in the SEC. They go down today.
Arkansas forcing plays of 20 yards or more.
And clock's ticking on this program. Brett Bielema's squad needs to win 4 of 6 to be bowl eligible. The rest of their season starts today.
Yeah, it really does. Important game for Brett Bielema. They feel like if they can run the football, control the game, get themselves off to a good start, they're in a position to win this game against Auburn today.
It's a clash of styles, both on the field and on the sideline. No return for Arkansas. We see the Razorbacks offense first in their power running game. For more on that, he's turned into one of the best receivers in the country over the last 5 weeks. Allen looks that way. Now goes over the middle to his tight end, and that's good for an Arkansas first down. Carey
They've been diced. Now they're going to go play action. Allen goes over the middle. That's Hunter Henry. Second target, second catch, and another Arkansas first down. That one goes for 22. Play action to him. Allen looking deep again. It's Henry again. He's roaming free. Third catch, that one for 23. Here's Williams' first touch. No, end around. This is Dominic Reed, and he's got it inside the pylon. 11-yard run for Dominic Reed. 3:27 off the clock. After 3 completions to Henry, they go to Dominic Reed on the jet sweep for a score. Alex Collins back in at tailback for Arkansas. They go play action again. Allen slings it to Dominic Reed. And Reed able to fight his way for a couple more. It's a gain of 17. 101st in the nation against the run. They're going to throw on 2nd and 4. Great grab by Reed. Dominic Reed came in with only 6 catches on the season for Auburn. Since October 11th of 2014 when they lost to Mississippi State, they're a 500 ball club. They're number 2 in the country at the time of the loss to the Bulldogs. They lost their bowl game to Wisconsin. And then in the offseason, they let Ellis Johnson go. They brought in Will Muschamp. He knew exactly what he was getting with his Auburn defense. He said, I'm here for the long haul. A lot of work left to be done. This season, hopes are high. Preseason, number 6 team in the country. But then, they didn't get great quarterback play. They didn't get anything play good early. Jeremy Johnson was benched. Duke Williams was eventually dismissed from the team. They've had to make do and try to find ways to piece it together. Jeremy Johnson started the first 3 games of the season. 5 touchdowns, 6 picks. Sean White now the quarterback, and they're trying to find something with Kerryon Johnson. He had to change direction, and he stumbles over the 14-yard line. That's a loss of 5. Morgan, since September 17th, one of the top receivers in the country. Here's Collins. That's Juke. Oh, and then to Power. Wow, taking it to midfield. Irvin still fighting a foot injury. May not see the field today. Out to Morgan. There it is. Tried to shake him in. He shook 2 of them. Make it 3. And Morgan just shy of the chain. The former Jeff City J. They got Reed in motion. Play action. Looking to Reed. Nope. Downfield. Got him. Caught. Touchdown. Jeremy Sprinkle. 23-yard strike, and the tight ends reigning supreme for the Hogs thus far today.
Excellent execution. Drew Morgan's going to clear this thing out. Sprinkle on an out and up. And once Morgan goes inside, it leaves Sprinkle wide open down the sideline. Easy throw and catch.
Set up this pass play off of play action. Jeremy Sprinkle's first touchdown of the season. The junior from Whitehall. 2nd and 8. He wants to throw. White tried to dump it and tipped away by Brooks Ellis.
What a play by Ellis.
Continuing today on that first down run by Collins. And here he is, knifing through. Collins finally gets spun down after a gain of 13. Wildcat now Kerryon Johnson at quarterback. Brings Truitt in motion. Here's Truitt, nothing doing. Auburn had that one scouted out.
Ball security is a premium. He holds on to the football.
Barber met at the line of scrimmage. Turned away that time by Ledbetter. They converted a 4th and 2 on a big gain. And then Peyton Barber able to slam it in on 3rd down. Runs a man up. They're showing pressure. They rarely bring pressure 14% of the time. And now they swing it out to Ricardo Lewis. And Lewis gets dragged down for no gain by Gaines. Death by 1,000 cuts for this Arkansas defense. Another long drive. They're 2 scoring drives covering 29 plays. We're tied at 14, and the Gus bus is rolling. Broken foot in the offseason. He was in at 6 a.m. the next day with the strength coach working. Keon Houcher out with a broken foot. He's been back on the practice field lately. Cody Hollister working his way back, and Jared Cornelius suffered a gruesome broken arm against A&M. Raleigh Williams in a tailback for Arkansas. They go play action. Good coverage downfield. Allen hits his man on the comeback route. Dominic Reed. He's got an Arkansas first down. High formation now. Toss. Room. Oh, big hit. And a flag coming in. Might be targeting Jonathan Ford.
And there's 2 that were there. Ford as well as McKenzie kind of show up at the same time. So I'm not sure who they're going to call this on.
And an injured player in front of the Arkansas bench, Riley Williams, the ball carrier.
Personal foul, face mask, number 8 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Casanova McKenzie got flagged. That's the first penalty against Auburn this game. We've got 3:42 remaining in the third quarter.
It's actually Chris Frost, number 17 here, that's going to get a piece of the face mask right there. And Ford comes in, McKenzie helps out.
All right, Peter, thank you. You see Riley Williams being taken off on the cart with the medical staff and the athletic training staff here at Arkansas. Anthony Antoine in motion. Toss to Collins. He's got a convoy in front of him. Fullback gets the block and he's in. Chris Jones paved the way. A 7-yard touchdown plunge for Alex Collins.
He kept waiting on big Denver Kirkland to pick up somebody. He didn't need to. Collins had enough speed to do it on his own. You get 55 pulling. He's out in front. Tretola kicks back. And now you got the fullback, Collins. There's nobody there to block for Denver Kirkland.
They've converted 5 of their last 6. Pressure coming. Pocket collapses. White goes down. Jeremiah Ledbetter.
Well, Ledbetter's going to get the credit. I think it's Lavin inside that gets the heck of a pass rush. Look at Lavin. Just push the pocket. Keep working. It turns him right back in to the arms of the waiting Ledbetter.
And Arkansas has a touchdown lead on Auburn as we head to the fourth. The numbers show Arkansas has let more than a few slip away in late and close situations under Brett Bielema. This year against Texas A&M, they led by 8 in the fourth quarter. They lost by a touchdown. Last year in Columbia, Missouri, the Tigers won the SEC East by coming from behind, down 8, won by 7. Alabama, they led, lost by 1 in a 14-13 game in the rain. A&M, they're up 2 scores, lost by a touchdown. This is a key fourth quarter for Arkansas, a team that needs to get it going and win 4 out of their last 6 to be bowl eligible. Leading by a touchdown as we start the fourth. Brandon Allen chased, flips it to Collins. Couple blockers out there. Collins motors his way all the way to the 48-yard line. Here's Barber. Thrown for a loss. Bijan Jackson found him in the backfield. Jeremy Johnson returning to the fold and taking it in from a yard out. We are tied in Fayetteville. 4:08 to go. They have 2 timeouts remaining. They set up the screen. Collins has a ton of room. And he trickles across the sideline after a gain of 21 for the celebrated Headland. This one is good, and Arkansas is in front with 1:07 to go. Never move. There it goes. White, pressure, flush. Dropped, and the ball's loose. Scooped up by Arkansas. There's been no whistle.
Go down. I thought Sean White was trying to throw the football here. Moves around. And it's right here is where it's determined. I think that's a fumble. This play may stand. And the arm never really started to come forward. It came up, but it didn't come forward.
Beanham and Ledbetter converged on him. Dietrich Wise was the man who finally wisely picked up the loose ball. There were a couple Auburn players standing there just watching it, thinking the arm was coming forward and it was an incomplete pass.
And later, Wisely took a knee as he's running around. And
after review, the quarterback's arm was moving forward before the ball came loose. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. Ball will be returned to the previous spot where it will be second down.
Last year, won this season. Kicks away clean. And it's good. With 4 seconds left, Daniel Carlson ties it up from 41 yards out. Welcome back to Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium as we get set for overtime. Second overtime for each team this season. Coin toss will decide the choice of offense, defense, or the end of the field. Each team one try from the opponent's 25-yard line. No game clock, play clock only, and you have to go for 2 once we hit the third overtime
of regulation.
And tempo again. Barber's in. 3 plays, 3 cuts from Barber, and Auburn has the lead. They're moving slow. Henry motions. It's at 1. They get it off. Allen over the middle. There's his tight end, Hunter Henry, and it's good for a first down. That's a pretty nice safety valve.
Short sprint out.
Straight drop. End zone. Caught! Touchdown! Arkansas, Drew Morgan.
What a throw and what a catch. And sometimes in critical situations, you just have to find, somebody has to make a play here. It's just a crossing route where it's tough to cover all the way across the formation. A nice accurate throw by Brandon Allen.
Yep.
2 teams that aren't willing to flinch.
He empties. Out to the screen. Mitchell wants to throw back. He's got Allen. He's got the sideline. Here we go. We having fun yet? Nearly mishandled the snap. Walker through the left side. Powers inside the 5. First and goal, Hogs. Gain of 11. They love the tight end in this situation. Inside the 5. Allen will give it to Walker. He is in. Touchdown. Arkansas. Cody Walker. Barber stood up. Stopped after a gain of 1. Barber again. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn. He just kind of crested the wave of bodies right outside the goal line.
He's still packing a punch this late in the game.
They fake the handoff to Lewis. Barber again. He's in again. His 3rd touchdown in overtime. And Arkansas will have to go for 2. Davis in motion. They roll the pocket. White looks back left. Wide open. 2-point conversion for Melvin Ray. The pitch to Walker. First down. Touchdown. And now a 2-point conversion away from tying it.
That injury to Jonathan Jones allowed for a little more time for Dan Enos to really think through the play call. They go inside, they catch Lambert, the defensive end, out of position. He gives up leverage, and that allowed Cody Walker to get himself into the end zone.
All right, what do you like for the 2-point conversion?
Well, I think it's something where you're moving the quarterback, give him an option to run or throw it. And they look like they're going to go strong to the right side, especially now with Hunter Henry resetting over.
Favorite receiver Morgan comes in motion. Allen will roll right, looking for Morgan. Caught up in traffic, throws back. It is caught. He found Sprinkle. Another overtime. Fourth overtime forthcoming. Arkansas has a history of doing this. Ole Miss in 01, they played a 7 overtime thriller. In 02 at Tennessee, I was at that one. 6 overtimes won, but lost by a field goal, and then 7 overtimes at Kentucky in 2003. This is the first 4 overtime game for Auburn since 1996 against Georgia. So overtime number 4 starts with Arkansas at the helm. Allen is able to find Morgan. He's free. He's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
That's what he is. I mean, a quick drop, a quick out. You miss a tackle, and a guy with speed like Drew Morgan will make you pay
Morgan will come into the backfield. They fake the handoff. Allen's got Walker. Finds him. 2 more.
That's with a cast on.
Shaun White at quarterback. Into the crowd. Barber picks up 1. White, deep. Lewis off his fingertips. And now 3rd and 9.
Big 3rd down here.
White deep again. Knocked away. Jared Collins with the coverage on Tony Stevens.
7 for 4th down where you don't come back and it's 4th and long. In a manageable situation there to move the chains.
Last chance for Auburn.
Maybe a run to Barber would have done. Not in this case.
Incomplete. Arkansas holds on. Play. Shaun White had it denied by Liddell.
A nice play there, just coming through the receiver to get a portion of the ball and knock it away. And Arkansas just refusing to quit in this ball game. Both teams, hats off to both teams in this one for one heck of a performance.
We're going to get you to Missouri and Vandy. We may have seen more offense in overtime periods today than you'll see all day on Nashville's West End. A thriller here today. Arkansas is able to hold on after building an early lead, letting it slip away and come back to make big play after big play. Our final score in 4 overtimes, Arkansas 54, Auburn 46. Coming up next, more college football will take you to Nashville.
How about the thriller between Arkansas and Auburn? We're going to pick this one up in the first overtime. Not even close to being done. After an Auburn touchdown, 4th and 3, last chance for Arkansas. Brandon Allen to Drew Morgan. Clutch, Joseph.
Yeah, Brandon Allen made plays all day long, keeping Arkansas in this game.
After both teams scored touchdowns in the second overtime, we go to a third overtime. Auburn's Peyton Barber here. Touchdown in each of the first 3 overtimes for him. 2-point conversion now. Shaun White. Melvin Ray. Auburn looking good here. Gus Malzahn is pumped.
The tight end?
Never.
On these plays?
4th and 2. Arkansas down to their last chance. Cody Walker.
Really like the play call. Everybody's expecting Arkansas to go power football up the middle, pitch it out to the left.
Got to go for 2 here. Allen. Jeremy Sprinkle. The game continues on and on and on. 4th overtime. First play of the 4th overtime. Allen again looking for Drew Morgan.
You got to tackle. I mean, seriously, it's an outcut 5 yards and you get it to the end zone. That's just bad defense, bad tackling.
54-46. Auburn now 2nd and 9. Off the fingertips of Ricardo Lewis. Oh, Gus Malzahn said we almost had it. So it's 4th down now. Last chance for Auburn. White's pass. Arkansas wins the thriller 54-46. 2 games on Saturday playing out this week with 4 overtimes. Arkansas and Duke, they were thrillers going down as memorable wins. 1,774 combined yards, 188 combined points in these 2 games with 4 overtimes.
In Fayetteville, how about Auburn and Arkansas? First drive of the game, 1st and 10 from the 11 as the Hogs come out fired up, just 2 and 4. Meanwhile, Gus Malzahn's team came in 4 and 2 on the end around. Dominique Reed. Got to keep finding playmakers because the injury bug's knocking them out.
Yeah, nice block on the corner by the wide receiver, allowed him to turn the corner.
You always hate on those receivers down there. That was made possible by a receiver.
You saw drop passes there. Ricardo Lewis.
That was the theme all day long. Yeah, drop pass after drop pass.
Georgia fans saying, where was that 2 years ago? Oh, that would have been a great play there, but he's made.
Oh, that's a catchable ball for Ricardo Lewis.
All right, second quarter, early on, Brandon Allen, play action, Jeremy Sprinkle, touchdown.
What was that you talked about, play action for LSU? Kind of works the same.
Exactly.
Arkansas can run the football.
Yep.
Then Allen steps up, hit as he throws. Chris Frost makes the play.
That's the turning point right there. 14-0, a chance to go in, put it up 21 perhaps before the half. They throw the interception here at about the 4-yard line, and Auburn took advantage. That's where you question why you're throwing the football at that point in time when you had that much success running it.
Yeah, the drive started at their own 4. Ensuing drive, 4th and 2. Kerryon Johnson takes the snap, keeps it. Ends up with 19, and Auburn ends up in the red zone. Now let's flash back. Johnson's done this before. You go back to high school. He played for Madison Academy in Alabama. This was the 2014 Kickoff Classic out of the Wildcat. Hurdles a defender and scores. That play was called back because hurdling is illegal in high school. Did you know?
I did not know that. I knew it was illegal in flag football.
Well,
they must have changed that rule. I used to do that in high school.
Yeah, you did. Trust me, as a guy, I think that should be illegal all the time. It's very dangerous. But, hey, you know what? That works in this case. Look at Lolo Jones throwing out the tweet there. Yeah, she knows a little thing about a hurdle or two. A few plays later, Peyton Barber into the end zone from a yard out.
Lolo Jones is an LSU girl, right?
She is, yeah, but she's
watching the SEC network.
You better
right?
believe it. Lolo, if you're watching, hello, third quarter. Kerryon Johnson back at quarterback for Auburn.
Another good block on the outside by Melvin Ray there, allowing him to get in the end zone.
I like when they put Johnson at quarterback, though. It looks a lot like that offense from the last couple years with Nick Marshall.
Absolutely. Fourth quarter tie game. There goes Alex Collins. He's got room to run, and with that, Arkansas is in field goal range. They'd love to have more than that, though. Still some time on the clock. Allen, 3rd and 3, keeps it, picks up the first down. They did end up with a field goal. So now Auburn needs 3 to keep this thing going. Oh, what a play.
There he is.
Ricardo.
The guy that was struggling catching the football made a couple big-time catches on this final drive to get his team down in field goal range.
What a great play that was, and they need the field goal. They get it. So let's go to overtime, right? 4th and 3. Arkansas has to score, and they do. Brandon Allen and Drew Morgan. So now you have a second overtime. Well, eventually we need a third overtime. Auburn up 8. They got the touchdown. They had to go for 2 in third overtime. They got it. So now Arkansas down 8, touchdown, Cody Walker. They have to get the 2. They're hanging by a thread here, guys. Brandon Allen. Oh, he got it to Sprinkle.
That's just all on the quarterback right there, rolling out, making a play, giving his tight end an opportunity to make a catch.
4th overtime now. Arkansas gets it first. Allen to Drew Morgan.
Speaking of guys making plays right there, you make one guy miss, the effort into the end zone for the touchdown. At this point in time, you felt like the momentum was clearly in the favor of the Razorbacks.
And it was. Now 2nd and 9. Auburn needs 8. They've got to get it here. Off the tips of Ricardo Lewis.
If the ball touches your 2 hands, you should catch the football.
Don't let your legs go dead. You got to run through that football right there. Ricardo Lewis, an up and down day. Terrible in the beginning, brought his team back and led his team down there with a chance to tie.
4th and 9. Ricardo Lewis again cannot hang on to the football.
8 drops on the day for Auburn. Shaun White played a pretty good football game, but his receivers did not help him out.
Ricardo had about 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So of Shaun White's 13 incompletions, let's give him 5 back, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, there you go. He did throw for 254. Still, in the last 4 games, not a single passing touchdown for Auburn. They lose 54-46. Brett Bielema back in the win column.
Then we got some conditioning in, but our guys, they've been doing a great job of being resilient. We talked about just playing one day at a time to get to where we need to be, and obviously it was one play at a time today. The great thing is we got 5 more games together. Hopefully we get 1 more after that. But I couldn't be more proud of our guys. Great fans, to get out here today and weather it with an early game. It's been awesome.
It's a big game. It's the start of our second half of the season, and we've been talking, since the bye week about this game and how, it can do a lot of things for us the rest of 6 games in the 6-game stretch. So, I think we're a team. We want to compete. We've always shown we can compete, and we finally pulled one out. The expectation is to win the rest of them, and that's our goal. And we take it 1 game at a time. This was the first one, and UT Martin will be the next one. So we take it 1 week, one game at a time, and we'll see what happens from there.
Well, we're disappointed we lost. That was a tough one, like I said earlier. But our kids showed a lot of character, a lot of fight. Playing in the SEC, on the road is extremely tough, and we didn't get it done at the end when we needed to. You got to give them credit, but our kids fought, and I think everybody saw that. They showed character, and you know, our goal is to keep getting better, and that's going to be our message, and that's what we're going to do.
You know, in the history of the SEC, there have been 8 games that need at least 4 overtimes, and Arkansas has been involved in half of the 8 games.
Wow.
They're 3-1 in those games. But how about what they showed, right? We showed you they needed multiple plays, not only touchdowns, but 2-point conversions to stay alive. They kept getting them. What does that say about that team?
Well, it says they have resiliency, and they stepped up for once. Remember, early in the season, a couple of those losses, they had opportunities late in the football games. Brandon Allen missed some throws down there in the red zone. They are the 13th ranked team in the SEC when it comes to red zone scoring. Tonight, 6 of 6. In 5 of those trips, they scored touchdowns. I thought Brandon Allen did a nice job of converting when he had opportunities down there. And then you throw in that 2-point conversion where he kept the play alive. Boog. He had an outstanding evening or afternoon, and really was the reason that they were able to win this football game.
This game was all about Brandon Allen. Arkansas can run the football, but the ability for Brandon Allen to keep plays alive, make plays to the tight end, Sprinkle, Henry, he distributed the football, and when plays broke down in the pocket, he scrambled, kept plays alive, and Brandon Allen made plays for his team. On the other side of the ball, Dari, when you look at Auburn, their offense got going when they went up tempo. Okay, Sean White played a pretty good game. They dropped way too many passes, but in the end, 210 yards rushing allowed by that defense, still their Achilles heel.
Great win for Arkansas. They can even things up with their record 4-4, perhaps, if they beat UT Martin at home next week. I think they'll be happy to see that team come into Fayetteville. It's time for our Saturday standouts. Doring, you're first.
I'm going with Brandon Allen. Had a big-time day today. 19 of 31, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns. Most importantly, was right on point in the red zone. 6 of 6 as a team, including 5 touchdowns. Had a great play on the 2-point conversion that tied him up to send it to another overtime. Thought he took advantage of the opportunities when they were there. He doesn't need to win the game for them. Just take advantage of when they come down and try to stop that rushing attack.